The book, by the way, is The Dynamic Law of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder. It's a beautiful book. It's wonderful, very powerful. And I was thrilled because I love getting rid of stuff. And after I figured out what nature abhors vacuum really meant, because I was confused about it, because, well, a vacuum sucks things up. I'm confused, but the vacuum is the empty space that's in the actual piece of equipment. And the idea is when the statement nature abhors a vacuum, nature detests the vacuum, empty space. So when we create empty space, the universe wants to fill it rapidly. And ideally, the universe, of course, wants us to be happy and joyful, so it will give us things that we want. But we have to do the work first to create space for it to come in. Doesn't that make sense? Okay? So what I was doing is I was helping people remove the physical clutter of their life. Went through that process, and then realized I was having another call, and that was a call of becoming a life coach that was very much tied into my ministry program. I was already kind of doing it anyway. When you go into someone's home, it's very personal anyway. And I was realizing I was doing my ministry in people's homes. And that's when it kind of moved over into the life coaching, and many years later and many courses later, I switched over to that process. So again, the vacuum law of prosperity is nature abhors a vacuum. Nature loathes or detests empty spaces. And it basically says this: if you want greater good, greater prosperity in your life, start forming a vacuum. Or, even easier, start creating an empty space. Again, this is all out of the book, The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. Get rid of what you want, what you don't want, to make room for what you want. And really, it's not rocket science, right? And that's what I love about this way of life. It's not rocket science. It really is very simple, and this life that we're living helps us understand law and get it, because guess what? It's going to work even if we don't understand it. And don't we want to understand it in a proper way so we can actually have it start working for us?
Trained thought.
Trained thought is much more powerful than untrained thought. Thank God for earnest homes. So that's what we're doing here, is we're learning to train our thoughts. Now what I'm talking about right now is, we are talking about removing, what I'm talking about is the physical stuff. So the question to ask is, if I was to offer you a beautiful new jacket, your perfect jacket that you love, that you've been wanting at Neiman Marcus, and I was to gift it to you, would you have room in your current closet for it?
Oh, yes.
No.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Yes? Good for you. Good. The next question, we'll see if you will. Good for you. Question is, do you have room for it? And a large percentage of the people would say, probably no. I'll have to make room for it. So the question to ask is, how much percentage-wise of the clothes in your closet, in your stuff, how much stuff do you really need and do you really use? And I actually go through the process, and I know it sounds a little bit over the top. As a professional organizer, I would say to people, we're going to go through every single thing in this home. Everything. From top to bottom. Why? Because we're going to ask some questions. Do I love it? Does it bring me joy when I look at it? And do I use it? Because if you have something in your home that when you look at it, you're brought down, it brings a memory of someone that you don't like, a family member, whoever, that's going to drag your energy down. Get rid of it. Right? If I have this piece of something that brings me negativity, I go donate it to a thrift shop, it could bring someone great joy. Right? So again, the whole law of circulation, right? Get rid of that which no longer serves you. On the physical level with clothes, furniture,
relationships,
people, absolutely, which no longer serve you. And what we're saying is, I release that which no longer serves me for more wonderful things to come in. It's not, you know, negative, screw you kind of stuff. It is like, thank you so much for being part of my life, and at this point it's not serving me any longer. I release you to go on and have relationships that probably work better for you too. It's always out of love. It's not out of anything but that, if we want it to really work. Okay? So we're talking about here, we're talking about, in the physical level, removing that which no longer serves you. Junk drawers, under your bed, in your closets, in your garages, etc. Okay? So can anyone right now identify maybe a small place in your home that might use a little bit of decluttering?
Oh, yeah.
Yes?
Went all over.
Okay. So I encourage you to leave tonight with one little action step to clean it up. One small little action. I'm not saying go clean your garage. I'm saying maybe clean underneath your bed. Clean one junk drawer, right? What you're going to be doing is you're going to be putting the law into motion. And what you also find out, though, is you're going to feel so good after you clean that one junk drawer, you're going to have motivation to go and hit another junk drawer. Or maybe do the closet instead. Then the momentum starts building. And then you realize you have five containers of clothing or whatever in your garage to donate. And then you bring it to the donation center, and they're thrilled. So there's joy all around. It's really a powerful, powerful process. And when I say that I get high off of it, I am not exaggerating. I absolutely love it. And I think a lot of people would as well. Again, this is so relevant in my life, and I love it. I love the fact that I was challenged. I'm having a human existence as well. I've had suits. I've been in California for 4.5 years. I've had suits in my closet that I brought from New York. 4 suits. I mean, they're beautiful. And I wore them once. And my thought was, that little ego said, well, you might need them sometime. You might need them sometime. And so for the past 4.5 years, I've thought, I might need them sometime. And then, after this material, I start thinking, well, if I need them, then I can go out and buy a new suit. That makes me feel more confident. That makes me feel like I want to feel, not old stuff. So I went and I took those 4 suits and I gave them to the Wall of the Desert for people to use when they are having interviews. I mean, I really feel fortunate for these people are really lucky to be walking around in these wonderful suits. I mean, these are some nice suits, good for them, and I feel it was such a rewarding experience for me to then give and perhaps make someone else's life better, right? The whole law of circulation, absolutely wonderful. So, people, also, clothes, stuff, physical stuff.